So the Immortal Universe continues with the release of the Talamasca. First 2 episodes come out tomorrow. And is this show more Interview with the Vampire, or is it more Mayfair Witches? Let's talk about it. And welcome to my Safe Gayven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for clicking on another video and joining me here on the BlackGayComicGeek channel. If this is your first time checking out one of my videos, checking out the channel, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the BlackGayComicGeek. I always say the things that I love to talk about here on the channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the 4. So I mostly like to talk about fantasy, comic books, superheroes, horror, sci-fi, and of course I like to talk about black representation and queer representation. So if that's something that you are interested in, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, become one of my Safe Gayveneers, help me grow the channel. I just recently passed over 11,300 subscribers, so help me to get to 11,500, 11,006, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 20, 100,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers. You can also help me get to that 1 million subscribers, whether you're subscribed or not, by hitting that like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm. I cannot emphasize this enough. Hitting that like button pushes the video in the algorithm so more eyes can be recommended to the channel, more eyes can be recommended the video so that my channel can continue to grow. Watch for the watch time, like, share, comment, interact for the all gay rhythm. With that said, guys, we are here to talk non-spoilers because the show's not out yet. It comes out tomorrow for the Talamasca, the Secret Order. As you guys, well, if this is your first time checking out the video, you wouldn't know this, but as the majority of you that are subscribed, that are familiar with the channel, you know that I am obsessed with Interview with the Vampire, which now will be called The Vampire Lestat for the 3rd season. It is my favorite show currently running on television right now. I cannot wait for season 3, which I just found out that they wrapped season 3. They're done filming, and it's a show I could talk about all day. As a matter of fact, it is one of my biggest watched and reviewed shows on my channel. I wish all my other videos got as many views as the Interview with the Vampire videos did. Even when I go live to talk about every episode, it's some of my most watched live videos that I do. So it's very popular here on the channel. And so because of that, I was very excited about the spinoff, Mayfair Witches. Like, even though I love to talk about superheroes and the Marvel movies and DC, really, the thing that I love the most are like the supernatural world of fantasy. You know, vampires, witches, demons, ghosts, etc. Like, that is what I love. That is my real wheelhouse. So a show about witches, I'm like, oh, this shit is gonna be dope, especially being that it's in the same world of Interview with the Vampire. But then we got to Mayfair Witches, and for most of you that have seen my review, I couldn't make it past the first 5 episodes. Mayfair Witches was trash. And then I was like, you know what, season 2 is coming out. Let me go back and watch the first episode, or let me go and watch the first episode of season 2. Maybe it improved. Nope. And so because of that, when they announced that they're expanding the world even more to a show called Talamasca, I was curious, I was optimistic, because I'm like, this could be as good as Interview with the Vampire, or it could be Mayfair Witches. But just based on the premise alone of a secret organization that oversees the supernatural world, and just the fact that it can expand on the lore and the world and the mythology of this, I was very interested in this show. Well, first 2 episodes come out tomorrow. I got to see the entire first season. The first season consists of 6 episodes, and I'm not gonna talk, you know, because again, non-spoilers, I'm not gonna give any spoilers in this video, but let's talk about Talamasca and my thoughts on the show overall. But before I get into that, let's just give an overall synopsis of the Talamasca, the Secret Order. Talamasca, the Secret Order follows Guy Anatoli, fresh out of law school and positioned for a bright future at a white shoe firm in New York. He is approached and recruited by a mysterious woman who is a senior member of the Talamasca, a secretive organization devoted to surveilling the supernatural, which includes vampires, demons, ghosts, and witches. As Guy is drawn further into this unknown world, he realizes he's been enlisted for a singular and perilous purpose: to go undercover into the Talamasca's London motherhood and unmask an agent who may be working with dangerous forces to bring down the entire organization from within, threatening the safety of the entire mortal world. And so yeah, after watching the first season, I am happy to report that this show is not as bad as Mayfair Witches. Like I said, Mayfair Witches to me is trash. So this show is not Mayfair Witches, but I'm also sad to report that this show is not Interview with the Vampire either. Honestly, Talamasca, I'm bored. Take it or leave it. And so honestly, because of that, this review is probably not even going to be that long, because honestly, there's really not that much to talk about. Because, and I know people are probably like looking at this and be like, but wait, if you're saying you're bored, take it or leave it, then why are you saying it's not as bad as Mayfair Witches? The reason I say that is because the thing that is interesting about this show and that kept me coming back is the world that they are establishing and the potential building of the lore beyond Interview with the Vampire and everything like that. But the reason that I'm bored for this show and why I don't necessarily care for this show is the lead, Guy Anatoli, played by Nicholas Denton, I believe his name is. And I don't want to necessarily blame it on Nicholas Denton. I don't think it's his acting. I think he's a fine actor. Granted, this is the only thing I've seen him in, so say that with a grain of salt. But I think it's more so the writing around his character. Like, I don't care about this character, and because he is the lead, you are stuck with him throughout all the 6 episodes. But every other character in this show is way more interesting than Guy Anatoli. The character of Helen, who's the Talamasca agent that recruits him, played by Elizabeth McGovern, more interesting. Hell, Eric Bogosian, who shows up in the first episode as Daniel Malloy. That's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. More interesting. The main antagonist, who is a vampire, Jasper, played by William Fichtner. More interesting. There's a vampire named Burton who only shows up in the first or second episode. I would rather follow him than Guy. More interesting. There is a character named Olive, played by Maisie Sellers, who most people, if you watch Legends of Tomorrow, she played Vixen. Her American accent sucks, but the character, more interesting. And without getting into spoilers, again, there are moments that you think Guy and Jasper are gonna kind of develop some type of relationship, but you could also tell that's not the route that this show is gonna go. But if they did, it would be more interesting. Like, I'm so bored by the character of Guy and just the storyline that they're telling overall that I've had this show in my screeners app for like over a month. And it wasn't until today, October 25th, that I finally finished all 6 episodes. And the reason it took me so long to even get through all 6 episodes is because every time I turned on my TV to try to watch it, I just kept falling asleep every single time. Even today, while I was watching it, I kept falling asleep. Even after I took a nap and woke up and tried to watch it again, I started to fall asleep again. And it's sad because, again, like, it's shot really well. And then one thing I will say about this show that they have over Interview with the Vampire is it's way more bloodier than Interview with the Vampire. There's way more gore in this show than Interview with the Vampire. And you know I love my blood and gore, especially when you compare it to season 2 of Interview with the Vampire. I feel like season 1 of Interview with the Vampire is way more rated R than season 2. Because even season 1, like, you had sex scenes between Louis and Lestat, or the threesome between Louis, Lestat, and Miss Tilly, like, or the moments of like Louis sneaking into Lestat's coffin. Like, there was sex in season 1, but in season 2, it really wasn't that much sex. That's why I'm like, season 3, there better be some, especially being that Lestat is in his rock star era, I better see some constant fucking. Especially, I need to see some angry, you know, break up and make back together sex between Louis and Lestat. And then also, let's get a threesome between Louis, Lestat, and Armand. Hell, let's get a foursome between Louis, Lestat, Armand, and Daniel. But yeah, but also the disappointing thing about this show, especially considering that this show is called the Talamasca, a secret order, and the premise of the show is the Talamasca is a secret organization that oversees and watches the supernatural world, which includes vampires, ghosts, demons, and witches. Where is the supernatural world in this show? We only get to see vampires and witches, which we've already seen in Interview with the Vampire, and we've already seen in Mayfair Witches. But where are the demons? Where are the ghosts? Also, are there werewolves in this world? Where are the werewolves? Like, A show like this would work so much better. Obviously, you can still have your overarching storyline, very similar to like, because it all goes back to Buffy, very similar to like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Granted, Buffy the Vampire Slayer wasn't the only one that did this, but I'm still going to bring up Buffy because, you know, they kind of started the whole label of like calling your story like the big bad of the season. I believe that came from Spike. That and then other shows started saying that the big bad, but like having it be like a monster of the week type of thing where like, especially being that guy is your POV character, he's being introduced in the Talamasca, but like having every episode be like its own standalone story where you get to expound upon the world and the lore, where you get to see the different creatures and different monsters and different magic and all the rules that are set up in this universe, but while still having your overarching story. Now, granted, I know in this era of like 8-episode television, or in this particular case, 6-episode television, that's kind of not really possible, but I feel like this type of show would work better in that type of format. But yeah, sadly, you don't get that. You just see vampires, witches, and like zombie vampires, zompires, which we kind of saw again in season 2 of Interview with the Vampire to a certain extent. It's a different type of zombie vampire, but the same thing. But yeah, like I said, like I keep saying, it's sad because a show like this is something that I should love. Again, a show like this, Interview with the Vampire, which I do love, and something like Mayfair Witches, these should be like my favorite 3 shows currently running right now. I should be gushing about this show. And like, by the time I got to the end of episode 6, like the season ends on like a cliffhanger, and I was just like, okay. And so with that, it just makes me appreciate Roland Jones and the cast and crew behind Interview with the Vampire even more, because as incredible as that show is, they obviously know what they're doing, and clearly other people can't seem to match that same magic for whatever reason. I don't know, like for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem. Granted, there are some people that are liking Mayfair Witches. I don't know who those people are, but it got a season 2. They didn't cancel it after season 1. And so there might be people that end up liking Talamasca. Like I spoke to one of my friends. She went to the red carpet world premiere. And I guess maybe AMC knew that I was going to have this reaction because the red carpet world premiere was in New York. And I didn't get invited. This is the second time AMC ghosted me. Like, they had the red carpet world premiere of season 2 of Interview with the Vampire in New York, and I didn't get invited. And then they had Talamasca also in New York, and I didn't get invited. And I hit up AMC several times, and I got ignored. But whatever, it is what it is. But I asked my friend who went to the red carpet. They showed the first episode or first 2 episodes. No, they showed the first episode, and she said she really liked it. So clearly there are going to be some people that enjoy this show. I'm not one of them. I don't think this is something that I would be talking about week to week like I would be or will be for season 3 of the Vampire Lestat. So yeah, Talamasca, The Secret Order. But with that said, again, you might love this show. So tomorrow, when you see the first 2 episodes, come back here. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Watch, like, share, comment, interact for the all gay rhythm. If this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, hopefully check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, like, share, comment, interact. I just said that already. But also with that said, guys, for those that are still watching, I will be going live on Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you that have been following my channel, you know that I've been reviewing every single episode of Netflix's Boots. And because I've been talking about Boots, I got the attention of the writer of episode 7, Dominic Colin. He started following me. I followed him back. And so I was like, wait a minute, since he's following me, let me try to see if I can get him, and I'm talking about the show, let me see if I can get him on my channel to talk about episode 7. Well, he agreed. Wednesday is the day he's available, so I'll be going live. So hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And I already posted the, announcement that I'll be going live at 7:30 p.m. So hopefully you show up. Hopefully you show up in the chat. Make sure you watch Boots so you can participate in the chat. And so check me out Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.